And I apologize. I just saw that there are more people on here that are showing up on my screen. Let me get some of these case item numbers next to their names. I'm slipping, my bad.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the March 18th, 2021 meeting of the Downtown Design Review Committee. This meeting is being held by video conference. My name is Tony Blatt, and I am the chair of the committee. No physical location will be provided for the DDRC meeting. The meeting will instead be live streamed from remote locations. We want to request that everyone joining us today, except committee members, keep your microphone muted until you are called on to speak. As instructed in the agenda, those who called or emailed us in advance to let us know your name, contact number, and agenda item you wish to speak about will be recognized first. Before the DDRC votes on each item, I will ask if any members of the public wish to speak. When your name is called, you will need to unmute yourself by pressing *6 on your phone or pressing the unmute icon on the computer. You will be given 3 minutes to speak. When I ask if anyone from the public wants to speak on an item and you did not provide your information in advance of the meeting, please raise your hand by pressing *9 on your phone or select the raise hand icon on your computer. When your name is called, you will need to unmute yourself by pressing *6 on your phone or pressing the unmute icon on the computer. You will be given 3 minutes to speak. For anyone speaking today, including committee members, please identify yourself when you begin to speak. Citizens may address the committee on agenda items by responding to the chair's call for speakers during discussion on each item. All comments must be relevant to the item. The chair or presiding officer may, in his or her discretion, prohibit a person from addressing the committee and or remove that person from the video conference if that person commits any disorderly or disruptive behavior, which includes without limitation any of the following: speaking without being recognized by the chair or presiding officer, continuing to speak after notice that the speaker's allotted time has expired, presenting comments or material not relevant to the item under discussion, failing to comply with lawful instructions of the chair or presiding officer, engaging in other conduct, activity, or speech that delays, disrupts, or interferes with the effective or timely conduct of the meeting. Citizens cannot submit documents via video conference meeting. If we lose our connection for this meeting, the meeting shall be stopped and then reconvened once the connection is restored. If communications are unable to be restored within 30 minutes, items remaining for consideration will be continued to the next regularly scheduled Downtown Design Review Committee meeting on Thursday, April 15th at 9:30 a.m. by video conference. The agenda and documents are located at https://okc.primegov.com/public/portal. You would then click on an agenda item and the relevant documents will come up below the item. Jennifer, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Chair.
Present.
Committee Member Blatt.
Present.
Committee Member Bates.
Present.
Committee Member Jones.
Present.
Committee Member Sauer.
Present.
Committee Member Trujillo. Mr. Chair, you have quorum.
Thank you. Item number 2 on the agenda is approval of the minutes. The minutes were in your packet. And in the absence of any discussion or comments on the minutes, I will accept a motion.
I move to approve the minutes.
I second.
A motion and a second. And if everybody would then cast your votes in PrimeGov.
I'm not sure what's going on, but we know that Corey made that motion, not Mariana. Thank you.
I show moved by Commissioner Bates and seconded by Jones.
Committee Member Sir, how would you like to vote on this item?
You need to unmute.
Sorry. Unmove.
Clerk notice Committee Member Sir voted aye.
Aye.
Okay, that motion has passed. Item three is cases withdrawn, and there are none. Item 4 is continuance requests. We have no items. Item 5 is the consent docket, and there are several items on the consent docket. Any member of the committee may request information on those, and in the absence of that request for information, I will accept a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the consent docket.
Motion by Jones,
Okay.
second by Bates. All those in favor, please cast your vote in PrimeGov. That motion passes. Thank you all.
Mr. Chair, this is Laura Griggs from the Planning Department. For those of you that are on the Zoom meeting and you had one of the items on consent, and there are several of you, your item has been approved. You're welcome to continue to watch the meeting, but there are no issues with your item, and you can go about your day if you want to. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. So item number 6 is cases for individual consideration. We have one case, which is DTCA 20-00045 at 601 West Reno Avenue. Is the applicant present?
This is Laura Griggs from the Planning Department. I have not had any contact with the applicant since October. I had no response when I sent him this information. I don't recognize any of the names on the call that I haven't already put an item number next to. So if one of you on the call is representing this item, if you can raise your hand, which is the *9, that would be very helpful. I do not see that action occurring, Mr. Chair, so I don't think anybody is here for this item. If you would like me to go ahead and do my condensed version of my presentation and my recommendation for you.
Sure. This is Tony Blatt, chairperson. I think if you would give just a very brief recap, including the timeline associated with this, and then we will request a motion. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Again, Laura Griggs, Planning Department. This item came to the Downtown Design Review Committee for the first time back in June of 2020. At that time, there was some work that had been done to the building without prior approval, in addition to some signs that had been painted. And Cameron, if you can go ahead and go to the next slide, we can just leave it here. This shows 2 of the signs that have already been painted that hadn't gotten approved. At your meeting in June, you approved all the work to the building, but we had a lot of discussion about the signs because this zoning only allows 1 sign per tenant. And it's limited on the size of the signs, total 150 square feet. What was proposed at that time was almost 700 plus square foot of signage, and staff supported multiple signs on the building since it's on the corner, but we did not support that large of a sign. There was discussion by the committee about moving the sign on the side street that says OKC Vet Campus. Instead of having it on the first floor, you might recall the suggestion was move it up to the second story portion and it can be seen further from traffic traveling west on Reno. Staff recommended at that time that I would support 3 signs, and I believe it was 100 square foot per sign, and we requested that they come back with a redesign of the signs to fit in that size. This then was continued multiple times. The applicant advised that their graphic person had shut down because of COVID, and so I actually gave them more time than we typically would. Since we haven't heard anything from the applicant and I have not received the redesign, staff feels that we have no choice but to recommend denial of their sign application because all we have to act on is their original sign application for over 700 square foot of signage. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them for you.
Do we have any questions for staff?
Just for clarification, the signage is already on the building still, correct?
Yeah, this is Laura Griggs again from the planning department. Yes, it is. And Cameron, would you go to the next slide? Because that is the 3rd sign, which is on the west facade. So you can now see they have existing signs that they had already painted without any CA, without any sign permit. So this started with a violation notice.
Right. So my follow-up question is that by denying it, what happens? What's the next step?
With this denial, I will get back in touch with code enforcement to advise them of the action by the committee and ask that they continue with the violation process.
Okay.
Do we have any other questions for staff?
Then I would, this is Gary, make a motion that we deny the signage request.
This is Laura. Can I just ask that you go ahead and read the rest of, if
yes.
you have that in front of you, thank you.
I do. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
I make a recommendation that we deny the signage on the basis that it does not comply with the regulations and guidelines of the Downtown Design District Zoning Ordinance as referenced in Section D of the staff report.
I second.
We have a motion by Jones and a second by Bates. If all those in favor will please cast your vote in PrimeGov. And that motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 7 on the agenda is other business. We have no items. Item 8 on the agenda is communications, of which there are several items. And if anyone has any questions on them, please raise them. Otherwise, we will move to item 8B, which is comments from planning department staff.
Thank you, Chair. This is Laura Griggs from the Planning Department. We have a meeting next month, so please check your calendar. It will be another virtual meeting. Additionally, I wanted to let you know that on Tuesday, Council appointed 2 new members to the Downtown Design Review Committee. So we have an engineer that has been appointed to fill a design review slot that was vacated by Deborah Richards. And then Julie Kriegel has been replaced. She filled one of our real estate slots. And so we have, oh, I'm so sorry, I was wrong. It's not an engineer, it's a landscape architect. Kayla Copeland is now on the committee, and a real estate person is Justin Brannon. So Julie's term had actually expired 1.5 years ago, and so it takes a little while occasionally. So we will have them oriented and sworn in, and they should be in attendance at your next meeting.
Wonderful. Are there any other staff comments?
This is Katie. I was going to note you've probably seen a flurry of emails from us regarding the changes in Zoom to a webinar format. I think by your next meeting, we'll have that all straightened out, and you'll be getting a reminder in the days leading up to the meeting with the appropriate link so that everybody can get logged in. That was a change from the city clerk's office and the way that we use Zoom to make sure it's as secure as it can be and meetings don't get hacked. And then one other thing I was going to note is that Jennifer Swan, who has been our admin coordinator through all of this virtual technological advancement, is going to be leaving us for promotion to another department. So this will be her last meeting with Downtown Design Review, and her last day actually with planning is today. And you'll see other planning department admin staff helping in the next weeks before we get that position filled.
Thank you, Jennifer, very much for everything that you've been doing through this entire
Congrats, Jennifer.
process. Yeah. And congratulations as well. Okay, item 8C is comments from committee members. And hearing none, it was mentioned that we do have a meeting scheduled on the 15th of April. And with that, we are adjourned. Everybody have a wonderful day.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate
Thank you.
it.
Thank you.
Thanks to the attendees.
Thanks, everybody.